guys? Gonna give you guys a little video of my knowledge on steroid use and why you guys shouldn't do it. Okay, so you're probably looking at me and saying, this guy's small, like a string bean, fucking not that big, probably don't know too much. But I actually been lifting my whole life, all natural. Never took a steroid, barely even remember to drink a protein shake. And a lot of my friends took steroids. And there's a couple things that you kind of gotta risk if you want to go down that route. A few important things. And one is going to be your hair. See, I got this nice little mop right now, and I'm going to have it for a long time because I didn't take steroids, and I'm not going to go bald. And I'm typically already, because I'm Puerto Rican and Italian, like already have thick hair, so I usually wouldn't go bald already. So if you're like a person who, like some of my white friends, like they're just known, like their dad went bald when he was young, and then you take steroids, like your hair's going to be gone by like in your 20s, probably early 30s. Another key important thing is your balls. If you like your balls, I mean, I feel like most women kind of like a guy with big balls. I mean, I'm not speaking for them, but you're going to lose them. They're going to become really small, like really small, from what I've been told, and they're going to shrink up to your stomach, and you're barely going to see them there. So that kind of sucks. Probably the third most important thing is you're going to be able to get a boner. So you would think, I mean, most people will work out because they're like, you know, I want to get girls or look good, blah, blah, blah. But if you can't get it up because of steroids, then what's really the point? You know, a lot of my friends would have to use the Viagra, the little blue pill. You know, it's a whole mess. You don't want to have to go through that when you're in your 20s. That makes no sense. And the thing about steroids is the muscle gains very quickly, but as soon as you stop, it's like, I've seen a lot of them, they become deflated. They look like they're filled with water. They can't put their arms. It's just not a good look. Their nipples get the gyno. You get this estrogen build up, and then your nipples get real big. It's just weird. It's just really not worth the squeeze. Me, I put in a lot of hard work since I was like 13 in the gym. Lifted, never tried to ego lift. I lifted what I can as hard as I could, a lot of reps, lightweight most of the time. Some days I'll go real heavy, but you know, I just have fun with it and work out, and the muscle that you build stays with you. Like, I haven't worked out since coronavirus started, which is probably like 7-8 months, and I got an okay build because I never took steroids. So prior to working out before coronavirus, I kept all that I did from that. Which if I was taking steroids at the time and haven't worked out for the last 4 or 5 months, I would be like, look a mess. I would look a complete wreck. So really at the end run, it's not worth it. It's just, there's so many negatives. It's expensive. It costs a shitload. You got to get pre-stuff, after stuff. You know, you got to shoot yourself up before you go to the gym, after the gym, in the morning. You eat like a monster. Like the guys on steroids think like it's normal to have 5-6 meals a day and eat 10,000 calories, and that's why they gain so much, because they eat so much. No, you gain a shitload because you're shooting yourself in the ass, and it's boosting. It makes you want to eat a lot. That's like, there's no way a human can naturally eat 6 huge meals a day and like still be hungry. It's like, it's because the shit you're putting inside you is making you eat a lot. So then you got to spend a lot of food, a lot on the steroids, the needles, the after stuff to get your thing up, stuff for hair growth. It's just not worth it. And then probably the most dangerous side effect is what it does to you mentally. I had a stepfather that raised me for like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years. I was very close with him. Me and him were very, very tight. He was a bodybuilder. He owns a nutritional shop in Lacey Township, New Jersey. He was a big guy, bodybuilder, one of the biggest guys I've ever seen, but he took steroids, and it clearly went to his head, and towards the end of his life, he had a mental breakdown, which was like crazy to see the state that he was in. Like when we went to his house to go clean out all the things, because he didn't live with my mom, he always made sure he had a house, but he stayed with us all the time. But we never really seen his house. He just wanted it because he said he had a lot of stuff, and he would go there sometimes for work. And we went there, and it was just crazy. The conditions that he was living in was not sane for somebody who was going back to there a few times a week to sleep. He had no blankets on his mattress. There was a dead cat that's been sitting there next to the kitty litter that's been dead for like 3 months. There's garbage all over the floor and mold in the fridge. It was just not good. And this guy was the same guy. He was one of the smartest graduates in Rutgers class. They actually wanted him to work for pharmaceutical for NASA. That's how smart he was, but he didn't believe in all the pharmaceutical stuff. So he liked the all natural route, so he opened up a vitamin shop, even though he was putting all that stuff inside him that wasn't all natural. That I think made him lose his mind towards the end. And then one of the days we went out to Home Depot to grab some stuff, and we grabbed the rope. He said he needed it for something for his backyard. And one morning I woke up, and my mom, who had a business with him, the vitamin shop, she called me and said the doors are roped shut from the inside. So I'm thinking somebody must have broke into the place and they're inside. They have somebody hostage, like John. They have him tied up. So I'm scared. So I told my mom, do not go inside there. I was 5 minutes from the store. I drove there, and the doors were roped shut from the inside of the store. There was ropes on the inside, and the rope was going all the way up to the ceiling, popped out the top, and then through all the pipes, and I could see going towards the back room, and it was just odd. So I got the key and went in through the back, and then they found him. He hung himself, and then we had to get the cops there. He was such a big guy. There was like 6 cops that had to load him onto the stretcher thing and was dropped him. It was tough to see my mom's face, to see the man that she was in love with for 10 years just hung himself out of nowhere. And this guy was the same guy, and like I said, an extremely smart guy. He was one of the top classes in Rutgers. I think the steroids is what got to him. So if there's any young kids out there that are thinking about doing steroids, don't do it. Stay skinny like me, and just do that. And keep your hair, your balls, everything else, your insanity, because that's the most important thing. You lose that, and you start doing crazy stuff, and then the next thing you know, you're leaving a family behind, and everybody's confused of why you hung yourself. It's just a mess. And so thank you guys. Give me any feedback. You guys can talk shit, that whatever. I'm small and tiny. I don't have muscle. I don't know what I'm talking about. You're probably right. But one thing I do know is I'm not on steroids. And that's the most important thing.